Okay. Back up. Got him. I got him.
Dade County is the nation's #1 hotspot for unique law enforcement problems. Drugs, riots, international political interest groups, and multicultural communities have made South Florida more of a boiling pot than a melting pot. Here, as elsewhere, SWAT teams are the weapon of choice for dealing with crisis situations. SWAT teams are called upon regularly to deal with barricaded suspects, to serve high-risk warrants, to institute narcotics raids, provide security for dangerous prisoners during transport, to quell prison riots, and rescue kidnapped hostages. These high-risk assignments call for special officers with highly specialized skills and training. Regardless of the situation, SWAT teams know that when they're called upon, they are the final solution. Headlines are a daily reminder of the growing need for SWAT-trained police officers. Contrary to popular myth, SWAT operations are far from the television image, where agents somersault through a window and machine gun everyone in sight. True SWAT operations seldom end up as shootouts. In Metro Dade County, SWAT teams have had to fire shots only about once for every 300 calls. One reason for this low ratio is the special training SWAT teams receive. Most police departments must balance budget and time restrictions against the training they would otherwise like to provide for their officers. Because SWAT training is expensive and time-consuming, municipalities often prefer to send their officers to a well-established SWAT training school rather than taking on the training task themselves. Major Chuck Habermel of the Homestead Police Department operates one such program in South Florida. His SWAT training school has served police officers throughout Dade County, state and federal special agents, members of the Peruvian and Danish Special Forces, as well as U.S. Marine, Navy, and Air Force security personnel. Homestead SWAT School offers some of the most thorough basic training available, including training in land, airborne, and even waterborne operations. To qualify for acceptance into the program, students must successfully complete a physical fitness pre-test. This test consists of a 200-meter swim, 30 push-ups, 5 pull-ups, 30 squat thrusts, and 60 sit-ups, with each task performed in less than 2 minutes. Other timed events include a 100-yard dash, a 1.5-mile run, a 100-yard buddy carry, and an obstacle course drill with a shotgun. Of the 70 people who tried out for this particular class, only 38 made it into the school. Classroom studies are replaced by hands-on learning experiences almost from the start. During the next 3 weeks, trainees will be pushed to their limits, both mentally and physically. Each day begins with rigorous physical training. Throughout the entire day, even a small mistake will result in punishment, such as additional push-ups or flutter kicks. Make a big mistake, and you'll end up wearing a dunce cap and weighted vest as well. Instructors continually harass and humiliate trainees, looking for cracks in their concentration.
That's what we did what?
That's what we did next yesterday, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
What's the ready position for windmills?
Like this, sir.
You seem to know everything, right?
No, sir.
You didn't know the station phone number? What's the station phone number?
247-1535, sir.
What's my extension?
I don't know your extension.
What's the major's extension?
I don't know the major's extension.
Knock
sir.
him out.
Yes, sir.
You got to know that too, right?
Yes, sir. 3, sir. 4, sir. 5, sir. 6, sir. 7, sir. 8, sir. 9, sir. 10, sir.
Get a hold of. However, Jennifer screams.
Are you ready to quit yet, 14?
Yes, sir.
You need to quit today. 33
sir.
quit. We got everybody else quitting.
No,
You need
sir.
to quit today.
No, sir.
We're going to have you quit by today.
No, sir.
The trainees' first field practice is in the area of dynamic entry. This technique utilizes speed and the element of surprise to subdue suspects. Students must learn how to clear and secure an area without being taken out by instructors who are lying in ambush. Dynamic entry is the students' first real lesson in the value of teamwork.
On, let's go, 18. Now move. Freeze, go. You guys are all jammed up.
All jammed up. Clear. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. There you are, blown away.
Feel like 3 of y'all. So one of you guys has your gun like this and your head down. Okay, can't do that.
Yeah, that's how it's done, visuals like that. Not all just right, any given moment, you guys are all right there together. Same thing to the first one. All right there. I don't know who the fuck's protecting this house you come from. In this house, that's all you fucking need to this house. Right here, what you got, well, it goes back. We'll count what we're using, this is all you need.
Okay, now what's that?
Pay attention to what you're doing, don't punch up.
After mastering dynamic entry techniques, students begin working on covert entry. Here, the emphasis is on a slow and stealthy approach. The object of covert entry is to keep the suspect unaware of your presence. Students learned the importance of not making unnecessary noises during this practice. Covert entry is used primarily during hostage situations and for barricaded suspects. In these situations, one wrong move can mean instant death.
Point. Don't explain to them that you better keep this point, okay? Keep the point there. I'll not take the point off just because it's okay after you look around the corner.
Out of the doorway. Out of the doorway, guys. Look this doorway. You got a point down here, man, or what?
What's that?
Point down here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is some kind of wheels, I mean to walk, hold it up, making too much noise.
Other studies during this phase of training include hostage negotiations, tactical first aid, and vehicle takedowns. To receive certification in chemical deployment, students study the various chemical agents used by SWAT teams. Here, they learn how chemical agents work and how they are deployed. Trainees learn respect for these agents by experiencing their effects firsthand. Homestead is one of only a handful of SWAT schools that offers certification in diversionary device training. Known for their loud report and bright flash, diversionary devices are critical to SWAT operations. Students learn the tactical use of these devices during room clearing drills. Diversionary devices are most commonly used to help gain control of a suspect by stunning him or diverting his attention. Students experience the effects of these devices as they learn exactly how to perform such operations. This is one of the most dangerous parts of the training. One tactic the public closely associates with SWAT teams is rappelling. Students are taught tactical rappelling on towers, through windows, and out of helicopters. Rappelling is a great confidence booster. It teaches students to trust their abilities and their equipment. Ironically, rappelling is seldom used in the field. It has been replaced with fast roping, where students slide down ropes at high speed. Special ropes are used, and thick gloves are needed to prevent friction burns. This method is used to deliver SWAT teams by helicopter without touching down. With practice, 25 men can be on the ground within 10 seconds. Fast roping is a useful skill when surprise is important or a land approach is not feasible. Shooting skills are a vital aspect of SWAT training. On the firing range, students are taught combat-style shooting. They start on large paper targets and progress to small steel plates. Later, students learn to apply these same shooting techniques to shotguns and submachine guns. In advanced shooting drills, team movement and target identification is practiced. During this live fire drill, students burst through a door and must instantly decide whether or not to shoot. These live fire entries are practiced with handguns, shotguns, and submachine guns. Other live fire exercises teach students how to fire weapons as they move from one barricade to the next. The specialized course many trainees enjoy the most is waterborne certification. Students perform team swims in both pool and open water settings. 1,000-meter tactical swims are performed by day and night. Trainees learn high-speed boat casting and helicasting from a low-flying helicopter. These are all techniques that would be employed in case of a waterborne assault. Boats, beaches, islands, and oil rigs have been the targets of such assaults by other special operators in the past. However rare, SWAT teams want to be trained to deal with whatever situation may arise. Perhaps that's why SWAT instructors take every opportunity to challenge trainees with the unexpected.
Number 12, fall out, D-Rat song. Sir.
Double 1 and 1-7, are you ready? SWAT team will make you jump, jump. SWAT team will make you jump, jump. Have you ever seen a SWAT team on the ground? They're gonna move in a low crowd in the ground. Gonna have his shotgun, have his M9. Gonna let you know that we're doing a crack house. They're doing a crack 9. SWAT team will make you jump, jump. Face down, ass up. That's the way we like to cup. Oh yeah, oh yeah. When we on the job, I said Saturday night, we're gonna let you know we just working it hard. We're gonna let you know that we're kicking it live. We're gonna rock the mic, gonna bust it right. Said face down, ass up. That's the way we like to cup. Oh yeah, pose.
14, are you ready to throw down?
Oh, yeah.
21, are you ready to break down? Oh, yeah. Break it down one time. Have you ever been out on a date with a chick and the only thing was on your mind was sex? What do you do, 31? Get down on it. How you doing? Get down on it. Go for 14, 21.
Get down on it.
Break down.
Get down on it.
Once again. Get down on it.
Get down on it.
Yeah.
Get down on it. We need some more words.
We're still working on it. We're working on it.
It's just a prototype.
Knock him out. Down. Yeah.
All together. On my count.
That was pitiful.
Each phase has its dropouts, and by this time, only the strongest and most determined are still in the program. The final phase is testing students to make sure they have retained what they've been taught. Trainees take a 120-question written exam and are tested in practical applications as well. Only those with scores of 80% or better graduate. It's not easy to qualify for SWAT training school, and it gets even harder once you're accepted. Those who survive the heat, humiliation, and grueling physical drills have shown they are tougher than the rest and have earned the right to be known as one of law enforcement's elite. If there is anything that evokes as many questions as SWAT training, it's SWAT weapons. Major Chuck Habermill takes us inside a typical SWAT armory.
Okay, starting with shoulder weapons, there's three major weapons that we use as far as shoulder weapons. We use shotgun, 12-gauge shotgun. The particular shotguns we use, to show you a little bit what they look like compared to what would be normally used in road patrol, is a road patrol shotgun is a standard length. It doesn't have any type of lighting system on it. These shotguns you can see are substantially smaller, come with a lighting system for illumination inside a room. And also they're equipped with what we call a team sling, or a sling that allows you to utilize the weapon with one hand if you have to, if you're opening a door or something of that nature. We utilize a 12-gauge shotgun primarily because of the size of the delivery projectiles it can deliver. In addition to the fact that we have gas that we can deliver, a gas system we can deliver also. In these particular weapons, we're able to shoot 12-gauge ferret rounds, which carries 3 cc's of chemical agents. So a guy with one weapon system can shoot a regular round, or he can eject those rounds, load up with chemical agents, and deliver chemical agents if we have to. So 12-gauge shotgun is probably the only shotgun you're going to find in a police arsenal. And the reason they're shorter than the standard weapon is because of making it easier for mobility in and around corners, through rooms, etc. It's a lot easier if the weapon's small. The next weapon system that we use and most SWAT teams are using is the 9mm machine gun. We happen to use the Colt submachine gun. The two probably biggest vendors of police machine guns would be Colt and H&K, Heckler & Koch, and which they make the MP5. We do utilize some MP5 weapons, but most of our systems are Colt. This particular machine gun here will carry a 30-round magazine when it's fully loaded. It has a selector switch on it, which makes it semi-automatic, which means fires 1 round at a time, or it goes to full automatic, which means you pull the trigger and it fires till it's empty, if you choose to do that. There are certain weapon systems that utilize also a 3-round burst system, where you pull the trigger, it'll shoot 3 rounds only, and then stop, and you'll have to re-pull the trigger. We don't particularly like that system, although it's in use pretty widely throughout the country. We don't like it because we don't want anything to limit the number of rounds we want to fire. We limit the number of rounds. We don't want a piece of equipment doing that for us. That's just personal philosophy. This weapon is good. It's got very little recoil. The reason the 9mm round is good is you have good controllability with that particular round. It has good hit potential in that you're not going to over-penetrate the subject. If you're shooting somebody, you don't have to worry about that round going through the helm into somebody maybe that's innocent or down the street somewhere. But as far as that, and universally probably accepted, is probably the #1 round going right now, which is 9mm. This particular gun, too, has a collapsible stock, so if you want to take it fully to the shoulder, you can do that. If you had a situation where you had time to aim the weapon more carefully, you'd probably go into a good shoulder position. Most of the time, however, the weapon's carried in a collapsed stock position. There again, makes it small, easy to get around corners, open doors, see what you're getting into, and that type of thing. So it's an excellent weapon. All of our weapons have a lighting system on them, pressure tab switch here, so the officer does not have to take his hand off the gun to hold a flashlight, for instance, or any other type of illumination. You can do it right here with a pressure switch. So that's very important. All the weapons also that we use in special operations also have a sling on them. And there again, each weapon is assigned to an individual officer. And what he does that is he'll sight the weapon in, so it shoots especially for him, and is right on target. The sling will be adjusted for him, tall, short, whatever his size happens to be. So there again, it rides right about waist level. If I was opening a doorknob, then I can easily do everything with one hand and operate the weapon sufficiently. Another type of weapon system we do have in use, and it's going to look just like the machine gun I just showed you, but this is a .223 caliber. And I said I had 3 weapons to show you. It's probably going to end up being 4 as far as the shoulder weapons we use. This is the same type of thing. It's a Colt machine gun. Selector switch makes it semi-automatic or full automatic. The difference being is the round that this fires. That machine gun's a 9mm. This machine gun's a .223, 5.56 caliber. Very popular with the military. M16s is, they're .223 caliber. And why we use this weapon would primarily be for suppressive fire. This would not be used in a room clearing situation, search warrant, hostage situation, barricaded subject. But what we would use it for is, let's say we have a guy on a roof that's sniping at people. Well, the 9mm effective range running about 100 yards would not be a good weapon to use. However, 223, which much better range, 500-600 yards, then you could lay down what we call suppressive fire, keep that guy's head down while you move your team into position, or you evacuate injured people, or whatever you happen to do. So this weapon is primarily for suppressive fire. We only have one fully automatic 223 in our arsenal. We have a couple semi-automatics that are used also as sniper weapons. There again, because of the range they have, very little recoil. It's like shooting a 9mm, although the round is different in size, has very little recoil, easy to stay on target. All of them, again, there again, collapsible stock, all set up with the team sling and the illumination system. The other weapon that we use is really the nuts and bolts of, no pun intended, is the sniper weapon. We happen to use 3 different systems. I spoke to you about one, the 223 we use, and that weapon is encased. Would look similar to what you just saw, but it's much longer because you're looking at long-range shooting. We have 2 of these in our arsenal. This is a Macmillan 308. These are made, I don't want to say handmade, but they utilize different pieces. The barrel, the receiver, the stock come from different weapons or a handmade type setup, so that the weapon you're getting, they're not all exactly alike, and they're designed specifically for long-range shots. The barrel on this, and this is also, as you can see here, a much larger round, and this does have considerable recoil. This isn't a thing like you want to go out and shoot on the weekend for pleasure shooting, because you're certainly not going to have any pleasure from shooting it. It has a free-floating barrel. If you take a dollar bill, for instance, slide it back here, you can go all the way back, free-floating barrel. That's important because the way the stock is attached to the barrel can affect, on a normal standard rifle you buy off the shelf at a gun store, can affect the trajectory of the round. Well, when you're dealing with sniper shots, you can't have anything deal with the trajectory other than the elements that the snipers learn to deal with, and is a different issue. But the weapon itself has to be nearly perfect and flawless. So you have a free-floating barrel. All good sniper rifles have a free-floating barrel. They have a bull barrel, which means the barrel is thicker than a standard size barrel. Of course, the bipod is standard. The scope allows the sniper to zone in or bring the target a lot closer than it's normally going to be. The trigger system is like a hair-type trigger, very little pressure. When he's ready to fire, puts his finger on the trigger, pulls the trigger. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, and the bullet's downrange. So there's even the ammo they use, we purchase ammo that for these particular weapons has to be match-grade ammo. That means every round that he shoots, we log in and know which particular lot and box number that round came out of the factory in, and that's important. Where on the standard machine guns, we don't do that. We buy high-quality ammunition, and that suffices. Here, we have to buy high-quality ammunition match-grade, so it's got a lot number, etc. And like I said, we maintain 2 of these systems, one 223 sniper system, which essentially would, have the same type of scope. Of course, the weapon's going to look different. Also equipped with a bipod. The sling here is not for tactical purposes like the sling on the machine guns or the shotgun. The sling here is for being able to carry the weapon from one location to another. If the sniper was on the ground, we need to put him up on a roof. He may just sling the rifle and go that way. So that's what it's there for. It's not, does not in any way play in him firing the weapon. These weapons, unlike unlike the machine guns, the machine gun I could hand out, even though they are assigned, I could hand one of those machine guns to somebody else, and 99.9% of the time, the accuracy of that person or weapon is going to be identical. There's not a big change. On this, however, there's a big change. They're assigned to one sniper only. They're very touchy if you mess with their weapon. We don't, you're not allowed, you couldn't come in and take this out and go shoot it. If it belongs to somebody else, it has to be yours. We carry them in a foam case, which is shock absorbent there again, so while they're being transported to a scene where we may have to deploy the sniper, we can't have any rattling or anything jar the weapon to take the sights off of where they're already set. And all that's real important. It becomes very scientific. And like I said, the weapon is a bread and butter type system, because there are only a couple ways to get to resolve an incident, one being chemical agents, negotiation another, assault being another, going in and taking and bringing the bad guy out, and then another reliable alternative would be a sniper, target interdiction. So, that pretty much takes us as far as the weapons we carry, shoulder weapons. Now, we do have a 37mm gas delivery system. It's a shoulder-fired weapon, excluded from the others because these are actual defense weapons that we would use. This is not for that. This is to deliver chemical agents. We use CS gas only. There's only two types approved really for law enforcement, CN and CS, CN being a milder version. CS are commonly referred to as tear gas, and we deploy this. We've had to use it on several occasions. It's very accurate, up to about 75 yards. It becomes very accurate. We have a couple people on the team that are better versed in this. Everybody knows how to use it. Everybody shoots it, but we have a couple people there, again, that specialize in the gas delivery system, and usually their accuracy is a little bit better than the other guy, and that's why we pick them.
Weapons aside, another thing that separates the SWAT team from the patrolmen is the way they utilize their weapons. Major Chuck Habermel explains exactly how combat shooting works.
What we try to do is gradually, because most of the people we get through training are coming right off the road in police work, and they're used to doing regular police-type shooting or PPC courses, and we teach them how to point shoot. We try to take them in a couple of different steps. The first step would be normal shooting, utilizing front sight, rear sight. After they graduate from that, we teach them front sight only. After they graduate from that, we teach them forget the sights, focus on the threat. Let your hand point naturally towards the threat, just as you would do with these two thumbs, and I said to you, hey you. If I said, hey you, pointing to you, pull the trigger, I'm going to hit you. So we teach them to do the same thing in that group, rear sight only, no sights. And pretty much what we do is we take the weapon, if I can, it's empty, we take the weapon, keep it in a ready position. We don't do high ready, we don't do low ready. Keep it ready position parallel to the ground, and then what we would do, finger off the trigger, when we go to engage the target, all you have to do, you see how my thumbs are lying on the side of the weapon, all we have to do at that point is point at the threat, hey you, and pull the trigger. Hey you, and pull the trigger. Just very simple. Just like that. It all happens together. And it usually takes just a few rounds to get the person's confidence level built up that they're hitting the target properly. There again, let me say that we're not concerned about hand shots, shoulder, toe shots. All we're concerned about is putting as much ammo on this person, as many rounds on this person as we can get. If we happen to hit him in the head, that's great. If we get him in the chest, that's great too. If we get him in the hand, that's all right too. Because with a bad hand, we're going to get his attention. So we're concerned about putting as many rounds as possible on the threat as quick as we can. And that's probably the other biggest difference between combat shooting and standard police shooting is that they focus too much in, I think, on the K part of the target. In combat shooting, real life situation, you do not have time to sit back and take your time, sight in, and get a nice, clear chest shot. It would be great if you did, but that's not going to happen. In real life situation, you're going to be moving and squeezing the trigger, and the bad guy's going to be moving and squeezing the trigger. So hopefully our training will outdo his, and whatever rounds we put towards him, hit him where it's supposed to, and that's anywhere.
One of the most important members of the SWAT team is the sniper. The SWAT sniper is used more often for intelligence gathering than actual shooting. Still, he must always be prepared for the day that he must take that one shot. Make no mistake about it, when the occasion arises, the sniper shoots to kill. Lieutenant Bob Courtwright explains exactly how a SWAT sniper hits his mark.
I have an ammunition sleeve on the stock of this weapon. It carries 9 rounds in there that so I always know I have at least that many rounds with me. Hopefully that's more than enough to get the job done, depending on what type of operation we're on. I know that these are the lot that I'm shooting, and I know that they're usually from the last box that I qualified with. So what I usually do when I qualify, I'll shoot the 9 rounds that are in this carrier, and then I'll shoot a few more out of another box, and then I'll reload this carrier from the box that I shot my last qualification out of. So I know that those specific rounds are going to go, you know, where I need them to go. Well, it all comes back to training. Every time you take a shot in training, you're thinking about doing this in real life. You're shooting paper. A lot of times we'll just shoot a silhouette target, but sometimes we'll take pages out of a magazine or something like that with some realistic looking people on there and paste them up and actually shoot it. And I've taken my rifle home sometimes, and you know, unbeknownst to my neighbors and friends, have held a scope on them. And it's a lot different holding a scope on a live person than it is on a paper silhouette. Even though you know the bolt's out of the rifle and you know nothing's wrong, this guy's your best friend or your neighbor, you're still put the scope on him. So you can see how people's faces, just a little bit of a change in the way they hold their head is going to cause a difference in the impact of your round. So you really need to experience that before you can do the job properly. Okay, what I do when I get into position is almost invariably you have to raise the stock of the weapon because you're going to be shooting up higher than what your barrel's going to be pointed. So I use a towel because it's easy to adjust it to different heights, and it also gives it a firm support for the stock of the weapon. Just keeps the weapon that much more stable. Now, when you get down behind the rifle, try and get as much of your body behind it as you can. I like to bring my left arm up around and cradle the stock in my hand. That also helps me squeeze this towel to change the elevation of the rifle when I'm looking down range. I grab the pistol grip of the stock with my right hand. It also helps steady it. And then I go ahead and get my spot weld on the stock with my cheek so I can get the proper eye relief so the scope doesn't bite me, and I also have no shadowing in the scope when I look through it. And this is a real comfortable position right here. You know where your spot weld's going to be, and you can automatically get on it when you get on the rifle. Usually a general thing that a sniper can use for his aim is anywhere between the eyebrow and the top of the lip. Depending on your angle, what you're looking to hit is the medulla oblongata. You either want to hit it with your round, or you want to cause some fluid shock from your round striking into the brain cavity, that it disrupts electrical signals that are put out by the medulla, and the person doesn't even have time to blink his eyes before he's dead. It instantly incapacitates a person. If you can't get a headshot, then the next place you need to try is somewhere high up on the spinal column, preferably the lower back of his head, any place from his shoulder blades up. If you can get a shot in his spine like that, it's not as instantaneous as the shot that takes out the medulla, but there's going to be very, very little reaction time for the subject. Another thing you have to remember is you might, 2 years from now, happen to be tell a judge why you took that shot. So you have to be real knowledgeable of your use of force policy, why you took the shot, when you took it, whether it was on your own initiative or whether you're ordered to. You have to be able to articulate the facts and circumstances at the time you actually pulled the trigger and took somebody's life. Let's see how we did. This is 8 shots from 50 yards. That's all within less than half an inch. That's well within the advertised limits of the rifle, and pretty much within the limits of the shooter.
Most people know that SWAT is an acronym for Special Weapons and Tactics. However, few realize the vital role that is played by Special Operations uniforms and equipment. SWAT teams use these high-tech items to function as safely and efficiently as possible during crisis situations. C.J. Karachi of Fort Lauderdale's Tactical Impact Unit demonstrates some of the unique gear used by today's SWAT teams.
The first tactical vest, this is basically first-generation vest, and at that time it was believed that we have to have a ballistic vest and we have to have a tactical vest. And the tactical vest is a vest that encompasses the ability to wear the equipment. It gives you all the pockets, it gives you the magazine holders, etc. This vest, one of the first ones that come out, has these pockets that you can put gear in, has a groin protector that will fold up inside if necessary, if you don't want to wear it, and also has the capability of putting in a large ceramic plate for high velocity rounds. Makes it very heavy. And you can see also that you can put the ceramic plate on the back and front on this type of vest. However, you still don't have a lot of ability to wear gear. Therefore, a lot of SWAT teams opted to utilize this type of vest. And what will happen is this vest goes on first, this vest goes on afterwards. This makes for a lot of weight and a lot of bulk, but it does serve its purpose. This particular vest is one that I found a couple of old SWAT teams using. It's very well made. However, its purposes are kind of obsolete at this time in law enforcement. The next generation of vest is going to be a vest that integrates not only body armor, but the outer vest to give you the versatility of wearing gear. One of the more common vests is made by Point Blank. What this vest does, it also adds another feature which we would call a modular vest. Therefore, you have varying pockets that can be configured up to the individual and how he wants to wear them. And that's done by Velcro strips. As you can see, the female or the softer Velcro is attached to the vest. On the back of your pockets is the male Velcro and also dot snaps. Dot snaps being directional snaps for those who aren't familiar with them. Therefore, the weight naturally pulls here. Well, the snap has a detent to limit that snap from coming off, so it will not pull off this way, but it will easily pull this way, where the normal weight wouldn't go. If we turn this vest to the rear, you'll see again more compartmentalization, more of the modular capability. This bag holds this person's gas mask. He has it so he can get it this way or his buddy can help him. He has this radio compartment moved up here and he has other magazine pouches down here. He probably has his medical gear in his left sleeve, okay? And that's the way he works it. Also, finally, is the carrying strap. Man down drill. Unfortunately, if the guy goes down, you need a way to extract him. There are several ways of doing that with a vest, but this company has decided to put the carry-off strap on there, and that's a good idea, I suppose. If not, what we've been doing is there's several techniques on how to move a person out, but with a vest, a lot of times you can get a hand in behind the vest, and now you have all that to drag that person out. But of course, we're not talking tactics, so we won't be concerned with that. Flex cuff is here. These are the monadnock flex cuffs. You only can get a couple in as opposed to the others, but you can see how they work and they fold down in. That's basically it for this vest. Opening up the interior is important. I'd like you to see Velcro covers the zipper. If you see the Kevlar is overlapping the zipper, so you have full protection on this vest. Also, you have some pockets inside, and with this vest as well, you have the capability of putting in a ceramic plate for the higher velocity rounds. Moving up to state-of-the-art, we go to the TAC vest along the same lines where you have Kevlar built into the vest, but it is still modular as the vest made by Eagle Industry. This particular vest is all decked out and ready for action. Communication is already in. As far as that goes, because that's one of the most apparent differences, let me point out that the communication is secured to the vest and it's internally wired in the vest. The vest is designed for that, so it's not a modification. The radio is mounted on the back. All the wires go into the shoulder harness and come out small hole in the chest area. And you'll see the hole here. This vest has the Kevlar in it, also has the capability of having the ceramic plates put in it. This vest is put on by merely opening these two Velcro straps, the third one which keeps in the pocket, and slides on. Once this vest is on, this has extra pads and extra straps on the inside, which help the load-bearing capability. I'm not going to secure this all up. I think I'm grounding the mic out. But this vest is one of the most comfortable and normal fitting vests. It doesn't have a lot of low cut. It doesn't have a groin protector, but again, this is my vest, and I want to be able to move more than being an armadillo. I'll save myself and not the vest saving me. What happens with this communication is this. There are no earphones. As you see, my ears are open. I find that as another advantage. I want to have both ears if possible. The communication is relayed to me by the bones in my ear, which actually give you your sound anyway. Vibration goes through these hard pieces right on the bone. My communication is crystal clear, and there is no external sound whatsoever, no squawking. The Lash headset is one of the more popular items. It works with a throat mic, two pieces that go on your throat and actually go to your vocal cords. Those you find quite often you need a hand to assist because you don't want them too tight on your throat only when you speak, so you have to touch them, push into your vocal cord and speak. And also they have an earphone, so one of your ears are down. In a very difficult military situation, a commander may find one earpiece being utilized for his troops and another earpiece being utilized for an air unit. So it can get very complicated and very difficult. With this system, you have the capability of doing a lot, but still, the important thing is that it's clear communication and very simple, waterproof, and the external noise is nothing. And on a Lash system and many other earpiece systems, you can hear a little bit of squawking, and in a stairway or where the volume is increased, you can hear that. There's nothing. This has a center switch here. So I'm wearing the vest and I want to speak. I come here with my left hand normally, seeing as I'll have my right hand on the gun. Or I will utilize a finger switch, which will run down the sleeve of my battle dress uniform. This will attach to my finger. Finger switch goes here, glove will go over that, and I can activate my communication this way, so I never have to move my hand. All I'm doing is here, I'll have the weapon, I just talk now. I see him moving, he's got a gray shirt, etc., and I'm off communication, on, off. Right now, this is the state-of-the-art communications, taking the bone phone, which is a waterproof system, and put it on. The boom mic is an exceptional way of communicating. Right now, they're working on a waterproof boom mic. And the finger switch is state-of-the-art right now. Limits the movement, which is an important thing to do, and also makes it readily accessible, so you don't have to reach anywhere in particular, and you can always get communication out. That's it for tactical vests. We have the light body armor, which you're all familiar with. In the event that it's a quick thing, at least you have something on. This one is in black. This was made by Point Blank again. That's just a quick on, quick off. This is for our tactical impact unit for light gear. No problem, 2 straps and goes on and conceals. And it's better than having nothing. Also, you can put the shock plate in this, which will make it rigid. Okay, I'm sure we'll edit this one. Going back to communications. With this type of vest or this type of vest, you don't have the ability to wire direct. You can utilize this communication, or some of the older communication is like the Secret Service older gear, the spaghetti gear, where you have an external switch. This one we're modifying, but you have an external switch which will ride down your sleeve to your hand. That's your push to talk. You'll have your earplug, which is the old earplug, clips on there. That'll go in your ear. And then you have the microphone, which again, we're modifying this one, but you'll have the microphone that'll be similar to this microphone, and it'll sit there. You have this you can wire on your radio and tuck into your gear. Your push to talk is going to be in your hand. Your microphone will be here like this one, and an earplug again. This is an old method, but we keep this around for plainclothes work or light work in the event that you're not going to gear up and it's going to be more of a surreptitious entry or a clandestine approach. In the event that your radios are not going to be compatible for a SWAT operation, or you don't have enough channels for the lower budget departments, and there's a lot more of those than there are the other. Maxon makes a fine item. It's a little expensive, but it works well. The upper class item, I believe, has 4 channels. This will clip on, and this will give you interior communication in any house among your team members. This is also push to talk or voice operated. Of course, the voice operated is going to take in all kinds of noise. And that's another point about the Eagle. It limits a lot of external noise with this boom mic. The only problem with the Eagle is sometimes if your external noise is great, it makes it difficult sometimes to hear on the bone phone. I've never had a problem with that. I've heard other people mention that. And the only example would be if you're on a chopper and you're on the outside of a chopper or something like that, it may limit what you hear because of the noise. I would say work it first and then decide. This is Maxon, just another capability for most departments. And finally, the shooter's ear or the ear aid, based just like a hearing aid, battery powered, has a volume control, molded to my ear. This enhances high frequency, and what this does is any loud noise will be brought down to a safe level. It doesn't cut noise out. These hearing aids bring the noise down to a safe level so I still hear. So if I enter a room and a flashbang goes off, the suspect is deafened by the bang, but I am not, so I can still hear what's going on. That gives me an extra sense that they don't have. With the Eagle system, it's a great system for me. It all works out great because now my ears are enhanced, high frequency, and yet I still hear everything I need to hear, and I can still save my ears in an explosion or gunfire so that I can still hear and I don't go deaf in the event of an emergency. That's basically it for electronics.
That's a satisfaction to me, and there again, knowing that I've got a good team, that when things happen, we'll be called, and not only will we be called, but we'll successfully resolve the situation, and you know, we can do the job. Yeah, I look forward to, I like to see if the skills work. It's not the type of thing that if I didn't wish that, nothing would happen. It's going to happen anyway, so like, you know, I don't mind if a few things happen so we can practice our wares and do a good job, and I'd rather us respond so I know we can successfully resolve it than to have a unit or regular people go that don't have a SWAT team and maybe somebody gets shot or killed. So yeah, we like to try out what we work for and train for.
We will be familiar as more you work with law enforcement with a major issue in law enforcement. It's liability. But the bottom line is most departments do not care about the individual officer as much as they care about, you know, being sued by someone else. Therefore, if a department is smart, it will research its equipment thoroughly to give them a good shot at something good. Of course, it's going to be dependent on price. And then once the department has that, they will make that required wearing. All departments should require a helmet, should require goggles, should require a vest, because it's going to limit their bills in the long run. But if they did that to me, then that would drive me up a wall. I don't want someone else telling me when I have to wear a vest, telling me when I have to wear goggles. If you have a person that you train well enough, they shouldn't be able to make that decision themselves. Because this is not what's going to save my life. This is not what's going to save my life. The gun is not what's going to save my life. What's going to save my life is this. And I don't need equipment for that. But if you don't have the ability to screen and pick and get good quality people that do have the ability to use this, then you better make sure they have this on.
Basically, just remember that they're going to try to find your breaking point, and they're going to say things to you. They may not mean it, but they're going to say things to see what bothers you, if you're going to let that stress affect the way you perform your job or not. And if you just remember that you're there to do a job and just do your job, and know that they're there putting that stress on you to see how you handle it in that environment. You know, I mean, if I took everything that they had said personally, I would have been out the first week. But you just have to remember that they're doing it for a reason.
Everybody on the team is governed by the same use of force policy. that the entire police department's governed by. We have no special use of force policy for the SWAT team, and I have no special use of force policy as a police sniper. I have to know that when I pull the trigger, that it's time, for me to do that. Something overt has happened. I can initiate that on my own, or if I'm ordered to by the commander, I can, if I have to take the shot, I have to let him know that I'm ready and able to. And I may not think that it's the right moment to shoot, but he may have a plan in mind, and he needs me to execute a part of it, and I want to do it. That's my job.
Because of the rigorous training, exotic weapons, and high-tech gear, SWAT teams are often compared to elite military units. On the surface, there are many striking similarities. But it's not until you dig deep enough to recognize the differences that you really get inside SWAT.
I think there again, in dealing with stress factors between military and police work, SWAT teams, it's different for police because you're hot and cold. And I like to use the analogy, you're like a light switch. 1 minute you're ready to go, and then as you enter that room, there's no threat there, and you come back down and you're cold. You enter the next bedroom and there's a guy with a gun, you're hot. And when he doesn't point it at you and you subdue him peacefully, you're cold again, and back and forth. And that really puts a lot of pressure on a person. The target identification for us is a big difference between us and the military. There again, military, it may just be by the color of the uniform, the opposite color of uniform that you're allowed to shoot. In police work, you can't look for that. You have to look to see the threat. So you're looking at the hands to see what they're going to do. Even if he's holding a gun, that's not good enough to shoot. He has to be a threat to you by pointing the gun at you or a fellow member or somebody that's innocent. And that's a big deal, and it's probably a big factor in the difference between the military and civilians. And I think the stress is going to be much more with the police because of that up and down, not knowing, and that last minute judgment call that if you squeeze the trigger too soon, you've got big problems with the court system. And if you squeeze the trigger too late, you're dead. So it's tough to find the guy that's right on the cutting edge all the time that can do what he has to do when he has to do it.